Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Huddle with your host, with the most, Mr. Gage. Ryan, how you doing, Gage?
I'm lovely. That's your co-host, Ron Mont. How are you, my
Hey,
friend?
man. Oh, man, it's always good. Victory Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What?
It just makes the whole week go a little bit smoother on a Steelers win.
It just gives you that little extra giddy up in your step, that little
Yeah.
extra hitch in your giddy up, Yeah. All right. No, anyway. But seriously, folks, hey, how about that? Pittsburgh Steelers pulled out a win there against the Cincinnati Bengals. Compared to the last game they played against them, was not quite the same game. So we are here, Mr. Gage Ryan and myself. Welcome to the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast. We are going to be talking about all things black and gold and maybe sprinkle in a little Steelers talk there too.
So I gotta
First
say that
story.
as far as this game goes, this was probably this was three entire quarters of just a bore hole. It was so
Hole.
this game sucked for so much of the runtime. I gotta say, I was like kind of like fading in and out of sleeping while I was watching it. It was bad.
Even the commentators were saying like, "Man, this isn't quite the same game that we had last week." And then Five Star on his show, by the way, go check out Five Star. You got to, Five Star matchup. You got to go check that out. On his show, he was like 6-7. Okay, not quite the same shootout that we had the last time these two guys met, and it was like, hey, the defense decided to show up. All
Our
right.
28th ranked defense decided to put the clamp down on the offense that absolutely had its way with it last time. So I'll take it. I'll take the
28.
wins we can get. 28th ranked defense. Maybe we're up to like 26, 25 now. Maybe if we're feeling a little froggy. Who knows what the rankings will be now, but for that defense to do that to the offense that humiliated them a month ago is a big plus. We can definitely call that progress for sure.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with who was in and who was not in the lineup as to why that game was more of a bore fest or a bore hole, as you would like to say. But I really like Eccles in there. I'm really liking Duggar.
Kyle was really good, man. I was saying like when we picked him up, I was like, this is probably going to be a halfway decent signing. I mean, like again, us with our former Patriot players and whatnot, but you know that they like to have like smart, intelligent experience. You know the kind of stuff they go for on defense. But Kyle's like, if he's anything better than Darius Slay is right now, which is not a high bar to clear, then it'll probably be a halfway decent acquisition. And you could see that his play recognition really made a big difference on that turnover.
I mean, the fact that it looked like he was the best receiver on that play was like, well, alrighty then. Really liking that. I'm really liking Spencer coming in to the offensive line. I'm really liking his interjection into that, and I'm with everybody. He needs a touchdown. Do you hear that, Arthur? You
I just
hear that?
wanted, I needed to have a Zach Banner touchdown, and we never got.
No, we never got one, right? So we need to get a Spencer touchdown, right? So come on, we got to do it. Really liked the fact that okay, I was what 5 games off on my prediction.
But hey, I got there eventually.
Right, that's true. By the way, just to give you history buffs out there who um, are questioning, in 1977, Terry Bradshaw had a hairline fracture of his non-throwing hand, left wrist. Wore a cast on it for I don't know 8 weeks or whatever. Continued to play. Did not miss a week.
Those kind of like Iron Man streaks, I don't think are something you're going to see a whole lot of in modern football. You won't see zero necessarily, but like that whole like Brett Favre playing however many games in a row that he did, that's just kind of not the era that
Yeah,
we
but it
play
has
in now.
nothing to do with the fact that you're playing that many games in a row. It has to do with the fact that it's your non-throwing hand. You put a cast on it and still continue to play.
True.
Just saying. Okay, I get it. He was 10 years younger or 15 years younger or 20 years younger or something like
However
that.
long.
You know what I mean? Like, right? But I'm just saying.
What do we think about
Um,
A-Rye possibly not playing this upcoming week?
well, I pretty much thought it was going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, but so between Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, so we know that they're going to give Mason the start if Aaron can't go. But between those two, just hypothetically, who would you prefer to see? Because we can't deny that Mason came in there and made the plays that he needed to, and kind of did the game manager thing that he always tends to do. But
Well, I listened to what he said in his press conference. Okay. And he said something that kind of just struck me, and I'm going to mention it here because, I'm crazy like that, and I listen to those things and I pay attention to those things. And he said that they were able to pick out a bunch of plays that were Mason Rudolph's favorite plays. And he said that during the week, excuse me, that he submits to Arthur Smith, excuse me, what his favorite plays are for that week, what they practiced or what they've gone through or whatever the case is. And so what he said was is that when they were sitting there on the bench talking things out, they were going through the list of plays that were Mason Rudolph's favorite plays that hadn't been called yet, or that they hadn't been, or that they hadn't tried, or they hadn't gone through, or whatever the case is.
different folds of the offense that nobody's put on tape yet.
Okay, and because you're going to run with what Aaron likes to do,
Mhm.
since he's the starting quarterback, well, now that you got a different starting quarterback, hey, let's do what he likes to do instead,
And you
right?
can
And
lean
that's why
more
you
into what
saw
Arthur wants to do too.
right, and that's why you saw more of Mason Rudolph. Even five star said it. These much younger legs doing rollouts,
Yeah. It felt like
right?
every play was some kind of zone or something equivalent, or it was a play action rollout. And it probably wasn't that way, but it felt like every single play was one of those too. And it was
It
nice. It was
wasn't, but
nice.
but it was nice because it was a nice mix because there was some runs in there and things of that nature, and then Jalen Warren got a little nicked up with his ankle, so then they featured more of Kenny Gainwell. You know what I mean?
He
And
played surprisingly well. I was actually I'm pleasantly surprised. I think that he's an adequate acquisition, but he definitely is. I think kind of overplayed his position so far.
I like him as a change of pace type of guy, but that's about it. Okay, because I
No,
don't
I'm
think
with you.
because he's too diminutive to feature, and he doesn't do all the things well that you need. Like he doesn't block well. He doesn't, you know what I mean. He's more of a receiver than he is a running back kind of thing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean, right?
a
Which,
Darren Sproles.
yeah, not that that's a bad thing,
Not at all. I love Darren
because
Sproles.
yeah, right. And we really appreciated what Gainwell was able to do in the game and was able to get some scores on the game for us.
And hasn't Kenny G returned a couple of kicks to this point? Or maybe it's like punts or something like that. I feel like he's done the Darren Sproles role almost to a T, and he's played better than expected. I'm happy that we got him. I wasn't happy when we first got him. I was like, oh great, another running back to throw in the pile. But he's performed surprisingly well. He is what they wanted Jalen Samuels to be. You know?
Yes, yes, because Jalen Samuels wasn't available enough. Right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he was very much hurt a lot and didn't really get his availability wasn't much and
And he also like at that time wasn't really what they wanted. Like they had running backs better than him, and his skill set was again kind of like he could line up as a receiver. I mean, like under the right circumstances, he could be a screen target. They ran him on Wildcat. They had it like they did all sorts of goofy stuff with him. He was fun to watch, but like yeah, he was always hurt and all
right,
that. But you saw the one time that he took the Patriots off guard and put up how much?
right, a lot. um Now let's get to the fun because Mount Washington had himself probably his best game as a pro. I mean, and I can hear Chris Berman in the back of my head, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, right?
He got his angry
Stiffer.
run.
Yes. Oh, yes. and I actually think that the electric solar powered meatball had his angry run too. The way he jump popped that dude at the end of that play, I was like, all
Oh
right.
man, he cut back to the other side of the field. He did everything kind of in one play, if you will.
I
That was a
know,
lot of
right?
fun. I
That
love Jalen.
I'm telling you, by the way, Kyle Brandt, if you're listening, at Kyle Brandt, Angry Run nominations for those two guys. Come on, come on. Because I know y'all listen to the show, right? Anyway.
I
Okay.
enjoyed it, man. There was a lot to take away from this game that was good. There's a little bit to take away that's bad, but ultimately, for the fact that we don't have our starting quarterback is kind of a big deal. I feel like that's worth mentioning. But I feel like Mason Rudolph is one of those kind of players that if you lose the game, okay, yes, everybody remembers that like Thursday night game in Cleveland, his rookie year or second year or whatever it was. But outside of literally that one game, Mace usually plays well enough that he won't lose you the game. Like he may not win it for you, but he's not going to lose it for you. If we get
Well,
one or two turnovers, this kind of leans into our favor, I'd say.
the end of his first tenure in Pittsburgh, right, where he ended up playing those last couple of games, right, before he ended up getting released and then going to Tennessee, right? He wasn't just managing those games, he was out to win those games,
100%.
right? And that was the first time since college that I seen him with that mindset.
Playing with nothing left to lose.
Right. Like, hey, I'm just going to go out here and win these games. And he played great. He was careful with the ball. He wasn't making bad decisions and he was doing a little bit more than just managing the game. He was out to win those games. Look, you can definitely see when a team is out to try to not to lose or a team that's out to try to win.
That's a big difference. That's a big distinguishing factor. And I'll
It
I'll use a
is.
I'll use a fight analogy for that, but there are a ton of times where someone's so worried about someone's offense that maybe their defense is good, but they have nothing to return with. Conor McGregor and Habib Nurmagomedov, there was something like that going on where even his head coach said afterward, we set out not to lose, but not to win. And I think that might be that's a playoff issue with us to bring it back to the Steelers. That is a playoff issue with us where we do almost to a T the exact same thing. Because you always wonder, like, how is it that we can have a hot streak on offense randomly, and then come playoff time, we're just back to having 3 points going into quarter four. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers rely too heavily on Chris Boswell is a
Catches up
huge
to us.
boo boo. Okay? Because, look, at some point, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but at some point, he ain't going to be able to make them kicks. And you're going to have to get those yards. I mean, hey, I have an idea, guys. Hey, Gage, just play with me on this one for a sec, right? What do you say that we try to score touchdowns, right? And or try to get as close to the goal line as possible, okay? So that he doesn't have to make these 58, 59, 60-yard kicks on a regular 4 or 5 times a game.
The Steelers' over reliance on Boz's elite long ball ability, if you will, very much reminds me of the old adage just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. Because I don't know how many times we're at like, it would be a 57-yarder and it's like, I don't know, third and 19. We'll bring that up again. And rather than, just running, getting a couple yards, maybe throw a screen pass, a slant, just something to catch them off guard, get a couple more yards, make it easier. How many times they just throw it deep and are like, all right, boss, that's the best we can do. Go out and kick the field goal. Always very like situationally unaware. That's kind of been our calling card for a while. But hey, we got three defensive turnovers, three defensive stands.
You
So
said it. You said it right there, Mr. Gage Ryan. Failure at situational football.
at every level. How
Hmm.
often do you see the Steelers like they go for a two-pointer and you're like, yeah, this is a good they should definitely do it right now. How many times do they go for it on fourth down and you're like, yeah, this is a good idea to do that right now?
Or the fact that they let 36 seconds tick off the clock because they're huddling up and they're not trying to score before the 2 minute warning or whatever.
You know, it's strange because I actually really I've learned a little bit. Of course I know 1% if that about like what Tomlin does to train his players, but I always thought it was really interesting that they talk a lot about situational awareness. They talk a lot about how all the time it's a huge part of their practice, week to week, month to month, year to year, where it's all right, offense, you're at the 12-yard line. It's 3rd and 6 from wherever on the left hash mark, and you got one timeout, and there's a minute 30 on the clock. Go. And so you would think with all of those reps that they would kind of have a better feel for it, but I guess not. But again, I don't want to come down on them too hard because like this past week was a really good performance, especially for the most part defensively.
But
But
these are things that, look, it's the old adage, winning cures everything,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And when you're winning, everything looks great, right? And then suddenly when you're not winning, oh,
Now those
okay.
mistakes are highlighted.
Well, and very much so, you know what I mean? I think the offensive line is missing Sununu, or however you say his last name, right? Somali dude.
Suamalo.
Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah, Isaac
missed him,
Suamalo. Yep.
right? They missed him in a game before. They got him back, so that was a big help. I'm really liking how McCormick is coming into shape. I'm talking about the offensive line.
Hmm.
I'm liking Frazier at center. That's working out really nice. And Broderick Jones is starting to.
Not be bad-ish, kinda, sorta.
That's a great way to put that. That is a great way to put that because, man, I really like Spencer. Can we please just put him in as a starting offensive anything? I don't care.
How are we not? I really don't. Who took his spot? I'm confused. No, but just like he played so well in like his kind of limited role or whatever through like
And
last
every
year or
time he
whatever
comes
it
in,
was.
and every time he comes in, as you heard it at the game, 74 eligible.
Yeah.
Right? And I seen him go in motion and lead blocks and really, I mean, come on, man. This is you can't have him as the swing tackle anymore now. You got to have him in there as the full-time guy.
No, I agree completely. There are just times where someone is maybe not undeniable because it's not, I wouldn't say that's the category they fall into. But I would say that by and large, they've made themselves so that you have to at least give them time. You have to give them more than what they've gotten. I think Darnell Washington, if we could circle back to him for a minute, because I didn't really give you a whole lot to work with on that, is that Darnell Washington has just been kind of making more and more of a case for himself because we're a tight end
You
based
think?
offense. Yeah, no, but like, how is he not? Is he's tight end 2 or tight end 1? Who would you put in
Who
as the
cares?
starter? You don't
He
care?
is he is he is he Look, he is Mr. Washington. Okay? No, no, no. Let me rephrase. He is Mr. Washington. How you doing? Right? What is he? 300 pounds?
6'7", I believe, and
Yeah.
they said around 270.
Okay. Okay. So he's almost Joe Green.
Do you expect these welterweight sized corners to be able to tackle him in a one-on-one setting? Get
Dude,
out of here.
I love what Steve said in Five Star Matchup when he said that he tackled the tackler. Like he just doing just bounced off of him. Like, really? That's all you got? As he was running by, tiptoeing down the sideline for that 35-yard gainer. Come
It
on.
was so fun to watch, man. And I mean, like
Oh,
we're tormenting people with tight ends, and that's so funny because everybody is so focused
well,
on smaller, more athletic, and faster. And the Steelers took the exact they turned in the exact opposite direction. They're like, we're making everybody big and heavy, and we're just gonna punch you in the face over and over. It's I love it. I love the
I do
counterpunch.
too. I do too because Fryermuth is a big dude. Because Johnu Smith is a bigger dude. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? All of our tight ends are bigger dudes.
And they're all really
Um,
good. Even Connor
and
Hayward had some
Connor
moments.
Hayward is a bigger dude. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, darn it, there was something I was gonna say about. Okay, we have multiple tight ends because we only have one wide receiver.
Yeah. And is that a chicken or the egg thing? Because you know Arthur Smith loves his tight end formations. That's been part of his strat from the get-go. So do you think that they were like, well, we don't have much of a wide receiver room, so we'll go with the tight end guy?
But you had some wide receiver room. You had some people in there that could have been, and you. I
The
can't
crash
believe
out
it.
king.
I mean, I just can't believe you're paying Metcalf the kind of money that you're paying him. I don't think he's worthy of that kind of money. Is he
I
a
agree.
good? Is he a good guy out there? Okay, I
He's
mean,
solid.
he's solid, right? But the fact that he's going to drop two or three passes every game, that doesn't sit well with me. You know
30
what I
million a
mean?
year for that.
Really? 30 million a year? I would much rather have a guy like Heinz Ward who's only going to make $3 million a year, who's doing everything he can, pick, creep, and claw to try to catch that ball. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? Okay.
I will never forgive Steeler Nation for running Juju out of town. I That will not sit right with me
Nope.
until the day I die.
Nope.
You had
Nope.
Heinz Ward 2.0 and he was going to be there for life and y'all just had to.
Couldn't
It
do it.
drives me
Couldn't
nuts.
do it. Couldn't do it.
Drives me nuts.
Couldn't do it. Oh well. Hey
Yeah.
man.
Hey, at
It
least we
just
got DK Metcalf for $30 million and Calvin Austin's been all right.
okay.
Hmm.
All right.
He's been all right.
All right. He's got what, does he even have 20 catches so far this season? I don't
He's
think he
good for
even
like one deep bomb per game. And I don't know if you make that wide receiver too necessarily, but it's a valuable asset to have at times. Even Kenny Pickett was able to get a couple deep bombs with Calvin.
I mean, okay, and then we got
I think was
the non-existent Wilson out there who well
the
he caught
alleged
two
player,
yeah, the alleged non-existent
the hypothetical
player,
one.
the hypothetical one caught
Wait,
what
which
two balls?
who is that? Who did Steve call that? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, it was somebody else before him.
But I think we got to graduate that nickname a little bit.
I agree because because he okay, but he's very diminutive as well too. He's not even close to the size of Metcalf. He's the same size as Kenny Gainwell. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
okay, so your stick is to run deep. All right, well, go run deep. Yeah, can we get a couple of them?
We're still gonna check it down most of the time anyway.
Are you or are you not just sick and tired of the check down? Can we
Yes.
try to connect with? I mean, you're supposed to be this rifle armed, most accurate passer, and you just constantly overthrow guys. Really? Can we get Russell Wilson back?
Oh
At least
God.
he arced the ball up there enough you could run under it.
You could like order a pizza by the time the ball got to you. No,
And
and I
Aaron
think that
Rodgers is
goes.
throwing it to the guy, 6 rows deep.
Well, the check down thing goes hand in hand with the Bradyfication of the league in my eyes, where it's just now everybody throws check downs and everybody it's all screen passes and there's not really a deep passing game and to nearly the degree that there was. And we definitely it's definitely a big difference, and I'm not a fan of it at all. And I don't know what's going to change that. I don't think anything is going to change that, especially with how good D linemen are. But even in an offensive league where every rule is slanted to help the offense, you would think that we'd find a little more than what we do. I feel like it's a lot of open deep balls or check downs, and it's like, listen, if you guys want to be Tom Brady, you have to cheat like Tom Brady. And that's the part that a lot of you aren't getting. You
See,
have to
right? Yeah,
cheat. You have to steal
yeah.
playbooks. You have to meddle.
Deflate balls.
You
You
have to
have to,
deflate balls. You got to do all this stuff. You have to cheat like Tom Brady if you want the results of Tom Brady, along with the checkdowns. You guys are missing that.
that's the key ingredient to that. You know what I mean. And they actually won over the weekend, man. That Mayer kid's looking pretty good, man.
Who are we talking about? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, oh, the Patriots, they won.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Drake May.
Or
They're what,
May, yeah,
9-2 now or 10-2, something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
And them
I
Broncos. Hey, how about them Broncos?
them Broncos. I have no idea how I feel about them. My roommate's a Broncos fan, and so I'm always messaging him and just being like, how the what are they doing? What is in the water over in Denver this
So
year? I'm
Nix
very
is a
skeptical.
Bo Nix is a pretty dang good quarterback.
He's
Most
all
people
right.
were sleeping on him and giving him, look, if you give somebody a defense, you give him some weapons to throw the ball to. You have an offensive line that keeps your jersey clean, and you got a running back that gives you some play action and some other options. I mean,
And you got Sean Payton designing your offense. As long as
you
you can
could
kind of keep your head on a swivel, you'd probably be okay.
I mean you could pretty much drop Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, and in that kind of system, right? Maybe.
Yeah, Sean Payton, like he might be the most miserable human being on the planet from all accounts, but I do think that he's a solid coach even now. He can still draw up a good offense and all that.
I
I don't know
mean,
about their defense though. I've heard weird mixed things about their defense, but it seems like that's what's holding them in some of these games, like that 10-7
yeah,
abomination of a Thursday night or whatever it was game.
right. But okay, hey man, when
Ugly wins better than a pretty loss, right?
you know, um,
It's kind of Tomlin's MO.
boy, is that nailing the hammer on the head right there, man. Good gravy, dude. It's like
Oh man.
it's like or something. What's going on, Gage? What are you drinking up there, man? Is there something in the water up there where you
Just a
live, man?
Pepsi. That's it.
Okay. All right, well, there you go, then. All right, so now we got the Bears. Duh Bears.
Oh man.
Duh Bears.
The Ben
Oh.
Johnson Bears.
Ooh. They're doing surprisingly well this season.
So the Bears, just for some reason, at least with Matt Nagy, I don't really remember coaches before that, but I knew that Matt Nagy, for some reason, just always seemed to give Mike Tomlin fits upon fits upon fits. And they're just like, how there's just some franchises that teams just kind of have trouble with no matter what. And I feel like the Bears kind of might be one of those for us. And especially with, I'm going to say it again, Ben Johnson leading the way. These new age coaches with Mike Tomlin, man. I mean, we did well against Shane Steichen, but I don't know if that's more us adapting to modern trends or if that's more us making Daniel Jones relapse. And I think this might be a good game to make that distinction. And it's like, all right, go shut down Ben Johnson. He's probably the best young offensive mind in the game. He's making the Bears offense look halfway competent. Does anyone have any idea how insane that is? The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer in their entire franchise's history. They haven't had a
Really?
good they yes, yeah, look at that up. That's a totally real stat. They haven't had a
Wow.
they haven't had a good quarterback since Sid Luckman. All right. So
I
the
mean,
fact that
even McMahon,
I don't think so. No, I don't think he hit
he never
4,000.
had 4,000.
Yeah, look it up.
Really?
Maybe I'm wrong, but look me
Because
up.
they threw that ball a lot to Willie Galt, man.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up.
Holy
But yeah,
cow. Wow. All right,
so,
hold on. Our crack research staff, me googling it.
no, but that's the thing, man, is that finally bringing some offensive life to an offensive wasteland like Chicago is wildly impressive. So it makes me worry a little bit. I feel like this could be it is a 50-50 game, to be honest with you. We could win, they could win. Neither result is crazy to me. But yeah,
Well,
so
all right. Well, so it does say that Caleb Williams is on pace to be
he's
the
on pace, yeah. He
right.
might be the first one in a franchise's history that's about 100 years old. Good for them. Good for Caleb.
You know, there's
And for
so many.
Ben Johnson to do that in his first year is also just wildly impressive.
So I'm trying to think of who the last one they have on here. Caleb Williams, the game Williams,
Wait, what are you looking for?
I'm just trying to see who the last one was.
The last
the last one that had that many that had 4,000 yards.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, Caleb could do it. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's just another one of those, I don't think there's such a thing as a can't miss prospect. Even when there's the quote unquote can't miss prospect and he goes right into the NFL and dominates. Like you just never know what's actually going to happen on that. But he's definitely one of those talents where you just kind of like you should be able to find something to do with him. Even if you're a coach that's at least kind of worth their salt, you should be able to find something to do with the guy. There's just players like that.
All right, so it does say here that McMahon plus backup Steve Fuller combined to throw for more than 4,000 yards.
But the one of them actually in a season didn't. So okay, by technicality, but
And Jay Cutler and Josh McCown did in 2013.
oh, so yeah, it takes two Chicago quarterbacks put together to hit 4,000 yards in this franchise.
But the last time that was in 2013 with
Yeah.
Cutler and McCown.
Yeah, and one singular quarterback in a season has not been able to do that. That is baffling. Even in offensive, I'll use the word again, offensive wasteland like Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger pulled a 5,000 yard season out somehow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's baffling.
And he was regularly getting anywhere from 37 to 4,500 yards per
Mm-hmm.
year on a regular, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I mean, that's
4,000
why
was kind
he's
of the
going to go to the
standard.
Hall of Fame. That's
Mm-hmm.
why he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Seriously.
Is he
You know
first
what I mean?
ballot to you?
Yeah.
You'd say so?
Yeah. In this day and age, he's got two Super Bowl rings, right? He was rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He came out seriously, was what, 13-1 in his rookie year?
Yeah.
Really? All right. You
And
know
his
what I
loss
mean?
was to the Spygate Patriots.
Right. And he's got the wins, he's got the passing yards, he's got the touchdowns, he's got the percentage, the quarterback rating. I mean,
I mean, he's totally a Hall of Famer, and I put him in like that top 15 of best quarterbacks of all time, roughly. I think I put him number 10 on my list, and I think that's probably a fair ranking, I'd say.
ooh,
He's like
we
in
might
that.
have to do a separate show for that,
Oh
Gage.
yeah, yeah, and it was
We
also the it's also the most hated video in the history of five-star matchup. So
I
I
know.
got that accolade.
No, I know. I no, I know. That's why I said, "Oh, we'd have to do a separate show on that."
That would be lovely. But
I
yeah,
agree with you on that. But I
but
think
Ben,
Ben
go ahead.
has to be in the conversation as far as top 15,
Mhm.
but oh man, I'd have to think about that for a minute as far as top 10 just because there's man, I could think of 6 or 7 guys right off the hop that
Mhm.
I think are going to be Sammy Ball, Johnny Unitas, um
Gianni Unitas.
yeah, Joe Montana, right?
Yeah, no, that'd be a fun. Like we can put together our list and compare them and do that on the show.
I have to add Terry Bradshaw there because the number of years, the number of Super Bowls, the fact that he called his own plays, the fact that he was clutch, the fact that he won the big game when it was time to win the big game. I mean, come on, nobody gives him credit, but
I if I could hop on that point because I love that you mentioned that Terry Bradshaw called all his own plays. Called all his own plays in what high school, college,
all
pros,
the way through,
everything.
yeah.
And that is a lost art, man. I mean, there's certainly quarterbacks nowadays. You're telling me that Rodgers never says, "Nah, we're running this play." No, of course he does. There's experienced quarterbacks that do that kind of thing.
And
But to
we know
call
Ben
your
was doing it.
Oh yeah. Rodgers actually admitted back during his Packers days that sometimes he would pretend that his headset or that his earpiece would or whatever wouldn't work so that he could call his own plays.
Well, I mean, sorry, you're breaking up. You're
You're
breaking
breaking
up. I'm
up. Well,
sorry. Yeah,
here I
yeah,
got it. I got it. I'll do it.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, one of those things, right? Okay. Seriously, I agree with you 100% because look,
It's a lost art.
it is, man, because look, you're the one out there on the field. You have a much better feel, or you should, for how things are going and for what guys are doing on defense and what's going to be available. Instead of trying to run these scripted plays, look, even when I played ball, the first 10 or 15 plays were scripted,
Hmm.
and they were different every week. They were different plays every week. Okay. And those were the ones that we would practice the most, right? But we would practice the whole, you would do every single part of the playbook. You know what I mean? But those first 10 or so plays, you'd practice a lot the first part of the week, right? So that you
But to
could
your
get that.
point, there's a reason the whole game isn't scripted like that.
Exactly, because there's so many different situations that you're going to be in that you're going to require. Oh, well, no, we need third down plays, or
Mm.
we need fourth down plays, or
The run
second and
game isn't
long
working.
plays, right? Or the passing game isn't working, or hey, we need to get a spark or something.
But that's a problem I think that the game has nowadays. John Gruden's talked about it. A lot of these old heads have talked about it that they're taking more and more power away from the quarterback. And it's more of an offensive coordinator and head coaching kind of mixture, and with the quarterback having minimal, not minimal, that's a wrong word, but having lesser input
Much
than they
less
normally
input.
have. And I hate that. I hate that.
Right.
I actually think that it would work much better because nobody gets a better view than the quarterback. Like people say that the offensive coordinator up in the booth does, maybe, but it's the quarterback out there looking at
No,
stuff,
you
man.
don't. No, come on. Look,
You get the all 22 view, but that's about it.
I mean, seriously, when you're up in the booth, the only view you're getting is either you got binoculars and you
Yeah.
still can't see everything with binoculars, or you got monitors or something. Because the only thing that you can see from the booth, as far as I'm concerned, and this is why I am not a fan of coordinators being in the booth,
At Matt Canada.
whomever, whatever, however, whatever, right? Any coordinator should be on the field as far as I'm concerned. You have
I
all your assistant and position coaches up there telling you, "Hey, this is the formation that they're in." So that you can call the play down to your defense. Come on. Coaching 101.
There is a lot of that, and it's the lack of the quarterback having that input. Like here, let me
Yeah.
give you an example. Is like Terry Bradshaw talking about how you're like, all right, I already called this play two or three times, and then one of your receivers is like, no, 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 I'm going to change this route, and I'm going to run there, and you're like, all right, call the same play, except you run that route instead, and then like that, then he's open. Like I love that old timey kind of like draw the plays up in the sand kind of variation of football, and I think that there's certainly pros to having it down to such a scientific formula, the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan method, if you will. But I don't know. I think that it needs a little bit of balance. I think you need to be able to draw plays up in the sand sometimes.
You do. You absolutely do, man, because what kind of play do you have for third and 21? What kind of play do you have for second and 12? What kind of play do
A
you
draw
have?
play. No.
What kind of play do you have for first and 15? What kind of play do you have for first and 5? Do you know what I mean? Look, if you're going to be a run guy, then you need to establish the run and you need to do it in the right way. Off tackle, up the middle, do some sweeps. Don't give me this dump off crap because, as far as I'm concerned, we're not West Coast, and that doesn't count in the run game as far as I'm concerned. It counts as a pass.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
in the modern version of the game, you almost call it a run play because if they're literally just taking the ball and snapping it and throwing it out, like, yeah, it's an extension of the run game, but it is a pass,
It
you know.
counts as a pass. It counts as a completed pass, and then yards after the catch goes to your passing stats. That's how it goes.
Mhm.
Okay. So, no, stop doing that. Hand the ball off. Get guys moving. Get the defense moving. Get the offense moving. You very rarely see guys pulling anymore now. You get the swing tackle doing it, right? But you don't see your linemen doing it anymore now. They just snap the ball, stand up, and move to whichever way they're supposed to move. That's it. You're not seeing guys pulling hardly anymore now. You're not seeing that.
No, it's definitely I don't know if I'll say it's dying because football is a bit of a vicious circle, if you will. Like once there'll be there's always like some kind of equality to it where eventually after a while of, let's say, where all the teams want to be light on their feet and fast, the one team's just going to show up and have a bunch of boulders on their squad and they're going to like pound their way to a championship. And then now we got to anti-meta that, if you will. Like there's this give and this take to it with modern games and whatnot.
I agree. No, 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 I agree. But I mean, some of it you have to kind of, I don't know. There's something to be said for doing some of that. I think,
Mm,
and something to be said about drawing those plays up in the sand because you're not always going to have that list of 25 plays for third and 21.
yeah.
What are you going to do for third and 20? You know what I mean? Well, what depends on what kind of situation you're in. Where's the ball on the field? What's the score? How much time's left? How many timeouts do you got? Blah 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 blah.
Just
These
waving
all
the white
things that
flag.
these all things that go into coaching, Mike. Anyway.
Oh man.
Okay, so the Bears, the Bears. What do you think about what this game's going to look like? And I'm going to say that I think we're going to see Mason Rudolph start.
I think that's pretty likely. I think
Yeah.
that we're gonna have Mason Rudolph start. I'd almost want to just see Will Howard just for the lulls, but I recognize that Mason Rudolph is the guy you probably go with in this scenario because we still have the illusions of a championship with this team. So we got to make sure that we're still pushing towards that, I guess. No, but no, but I wish Will Howard would be it. I just want to see what we have there. But Mace Rude will be fine. He'll be Mace Rude. I'm not worried about him. We're not going to lose the game specifically because of Mason Rudolph. I mean, if you want to say, well, we lost because our offense didn't score enough points. Yeah, sure. But I'm saying he's not going to throw sloppy picks and fumble a bunch. His pocket presence has actually been adequate his last couple of years. I don't think that his time in Tennessee is a pretty fair reflection of him because who on earth is going to get production out of that Tennessee team? Cam's struggling. Everybody before him struggled. So I don't hold that on Mason. Mason with a good system behind him, he'll be fine. He'll throw a couple good balls, and we'll see what happens there. I am gonna predict that we lose because our backup quarterback versus Ben Johnson and the Bears. That's a tall task. I'm gonna say 27-17.
and we're more than likely going to be missing quite a few folks on defense. Probably a couple other guys. Who knows what's going to happen with Jalen Warren? He had an ankle. Um,
Oh
and then the number of players with what's his face still being in concussion protocol.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And the number of players that left and came back and whatever the whole 9 yards. I mean, this
There's
is
a whole lot
kind of
of layover right now.
yeah. It's getting to be that point in time. You know what I mean? Where guys are starting to get a little bit more hurt and a little bit more banged up, and start this might starting to affect availability. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Best
So
ability is availability.
all day long, right? Um, I don't know, man. I don't have a feel for this game at all now because it's Mason Rudolph, and I think that they don't have enough information about him, and I can't go 4 weeks in a row with predicting a loss. I think they have a shot to win this game, but
I think it's
a,
definitely possible.
a lot of things. I mean, look, we didn't necessarily miss Alex Highsmith because Herbig just stepped right in, right?
Didn't miss a beat.
Didn't even miss a beat, right? And so if Alex Highsmith is back, that's plus for us. But I don't know what his availability is going to be. But I'm not really sweating it. I really liked how Duggar stepped in and played. I'm really liking how Eccles has been playing on the defense. Okay. Um, I
Feels like we're finding a
clearly,
bit of equality with the defense.
yes, but I clearly think that the defensive coordinator needs to go because you
At the very
clearly
least.
aren't getting it. And or you need to tell Mike Tomlin, look, you can be the head coach, but I'm the defensive coordinator, and this is what we gonna run. And it ain't gonna be Tomlin cover two. Okay, we got to man up. I'm going to tell you right now, I would be more than willing to put a significant amount of money on the fact that if you suddenly change up the defense by instead of doing this cover two zone garbage and you start manning up on people, that there's going to be a much different outcome to the positive for Pittsburgh. Humor me one game. Just humor me one game, would ya? Or a quarter? Or a couple series?
We're either blitzing or going into zone. And I don't hate that, but I think that man coverage is also something you can look into running. Call me crazy.
Especially since you have guys that all day long, Eccles, Duggar, Joey Porter, uh, uh, Jalen Ramsey,
Especially
Darius
Kyle Duggar.
Slay. All
Uh,
them guys are all built for guess what? Man on man.
Especially Kyle Duggar. Like that's I think that's a big reason why we got him was that he was from that Belichick man coverage, mug you at the line of scrimmage thing and knock you off rhythm kind of defense. I think that's probably why they got him.
You got 5 yards.
Hmm.
Mel Blunt allowed you 5 yards. Okay? Knock that freaking guy on his butt. Make him have to get up. Okay? Or something.
I I remember Troy Polamalu doing that in his day. Not up on the line of scrimmage. He'd do that too. But like I would see him someone would run by and he would like kind of swing his hand out and like hit them in the back or something, which is just enough to knock them off of their route. And all of a sudden, that ball just sails over the wide receiver's head. You saw that with like even guys like Peyton Manning. You just knock them off platform, and that's what happens.
Look, you're giving these wide receivers free run off the line for the
Can't
first
have that.
10 yards.
Can't have that.
You can't. You can't. Okay? That's why you give up 349 yards to a quarterback who throws the ball 50 flipping times.
And every single third and long, if I see another loss, like we with third and 16, and they just throw it to like a wide open check down, and there's no one around him for the first down, I'm just we won, and I'm still agitated about it. Because how many times do you see it? It was like 7 or 8 times in that game where it was
Situational ball.
third and 8, third and 12, third and 15, and it felt like every time they gave it up. That drove me nuts.
Situational ball. Hey, on a third and long, maybe you might want to call man coverage. Just a thought. Why not? Yeah, nah, we can't have that. All right.
Cover two.
Yeah, yeah. Cover two zone. Here we go. We'll have the safety play 30 yards back on this play.
Yeah, make sure that he can watch the first down be completed in front of him.
All right. Completely take one of your best guys out of the game by putting him back there playing, center field. That's a good idea. Yep, that's a great idea.
Couldn't ask for more.
All right. But I still think that they have an opportunity to win here. I am going to predict a win. I'm going to say it's going to be like 21-27 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I
27
can't
21.
I can't go 4 weeks in a row predicting a loss because, well, I can't.
Got to
I
mix it up.
should, but I got to mix it up a little bit.
I'm not super confident in my pick either. This is a 50-50 game.
It is because this is a Mason Rudolph game, and this is one of those things where I thought we were going to see this sooner rather than later, but we're seeing it now, and it is what it is, right? And I think Mason Rudolph has an opportunity to get in there and win this game for Pittsburgh, um, even against Chicago, who's been playing very very well. More than likely, will be part of the conversation at the end of the year for the NFC. So
Mason Rudolph with a mustache looks like evil Mason Rudolph.
he does, man. Sitting up there in that press conference, and he just sitting up there with that mustache on. Yeah, 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 yeah. And you're just like, are you Dick Dastardly or something?
You are definitely like plotting world domination or
You,
something.
you know, like the same thing we do every night, Pinky. Anyway, not that I'm calling Mason Rudolph the brain or anything, but okay. Well, with that being said, sir, why don't you tell the folks where we can find all your great stuff, my man?
You can
And tell them
find
about
me.
that. Tell them about that thing that you're going to be putting out here real soon here about Peasy Junior, right?
Yeah, so you can find my mixed martial arts content at Contender MMA. You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video, and you can find I'm gonna have a Joey Porter senior video coming out within the next
Oh,
day or two.
senior. Oh,
Senior,
okay. All right.
yeah, PZ senior. It's gonna be a old little
Oh,
bit of a throwback video for since we had the
okay.
20th anniversary team. It felt fitting, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna have that up in the next couple of days. But you can find myself, Ron, Frayne, Steve. Almost forgot people's names there, and everybody else involved with all of our Steeler content you can't find on this channel at Five Star Matchup.
For sure, for sure. Go hit that like and subscribe, man. If you like what we're doing, man, we really appreciate what we really appreciate you guys showing up here and checking us out, man. We really do. Thank you very much, Gage, for all that you do, man. Really appreciate that, dude. Thank you very
Same to you.
much. You got it, brother. We will catch you all on the next Huddle Black and Gold podcast. See you on the next one.